For Lesen and Hören, your vocab has to be good. There's no other way, right? Take network A1, A2, B1 glossars, and then take aspect in your B2 glossar. Keep memorizing, keep reading it, and keep memorizing. Memorize as much as possible. It will take around 7 to 10 days, maybe 2 weeks. But if you do not have that much time, I can guide you on how to approach this exam at least, right? I'll do that with the help of Goethe sample paper. It's available on their official page. Okay, look. Read all the 9 statements first and then read A, right? Then read all the 9 statements again to see if anything fits and then mark accordingly. Then go to B and then C. Just repeat the same drill for the rest, right? At the end, you'll have a few statements left and you should mark the person who meant something similar. It won't be straightforward, it won't be direct. You have to interpret what he said and then you have to mark, right? Only 4 to 5 will be straightforward ones, the others you have to put your brain to work. Take a few model tests and then practice. You should be able to do this in, let's say, 12 to 15 minutes, not more than that. Then don't touch tile 2 no matter what, right? Even 30 minutes are not enough for this part. Even if you get all the 6 questions right, you'll still be unsure and second guess your answers. So never go for tile 2. Keep it at the end. Go for tile 3, right? Every single para contains one question and it has answer somewhere hidden. Read the question, read the para, answer. Read the question, read the para, answer, right? You'll have around 3 to 4 simple questions and 2 to 3 tricky ones. You have to get the simple ones right easily. It's not hard, but the tricky ones you have to, if you read it 2 or 3 times, you'll find the answer anyways, right? It's not too tough. Tile 4 is hard. Only 2 will be straightforward, and if you keep reading you might get a few more right, but do one thing, just get the 2 easy ones right first, match it, and then you'll be left with lesser options and lesser statements and you can try to match the others, right? And then coming to tile 5, tile 5 is your lifeline. You have to get all 3 right no matter what. Worst case scenario, you may get one wrong, but not more than that, right? All the options, there might be a lot of options, but all the options are completely unrelated. So there should be no room for confusion, right? Let's take this example. This is Abschluss, this is content, this is beginning, this is duration, this is Vermittlung forms, forms of Vermittlung, and then this is entry prerequisite, this is goals, and this is Ausland, this is foreign Aufenthalt. So all are completely unrelated, so you should be easily matching this. For example, okay, so the first one, look, they're talking about qualification. They've used the word qualification, and if you read it, they're just talking about the qualification for the study, qualifications of study. So it's entry prerequisite, option F. And then if you come to 30, they're talking about forms of Vermittlung, so it's option E. So it's completely unrelated and no other option even makes sense to that particular question, right? Don't just catch words. If you understand the entire sentence, it would be extremely easy for you to answer, right? Then start your tile 2. You should have around 10 to 15 minutes left for this. That's actually pretty much enough, but this is a very hard part. You'll have only 1 to 2 easy ones, 2 usually. So try to match those 2 first, right? Try to read the sentence, read the options, and then try to match those 2 easy ones. Then you'll be left with lesser options, and then try to put those sentence in all the blank, put all the sentence in the blanks and see if anything makes sense or if anything fits. And that's all you can do. There's nothing much you can do in this. Try, it's just trial and error. If you get 4, that is more than enough. It's a very good result in my opinion. So if you're only getting the easy ones right, you're still getting 14 to 15 questions right. So don't mess up the easy ones. Out of the tricky ones, you have to get 4 to 5 right. If you keep practicing the model papers and if you practice vocab, you can do it pretty comfortably. These are the books that I used and they're really helpful. Even you can use them too. Thank you. Hören is also like Lesen, exactly the same. Your vocab has to be good. Read the network A1, A2, B1 glosser, keep reading it. Take B2 aspect in your glosser, read that as well. Try to memorize as much as possible. It'll take around 2 weeks. If you do not have time for that, just listen some tips and tricks that you can use in the exam. Right, we'll start with tile 1. First, they'll start an audio and it'll give you the instructions to the exam, and then it'll give you a sample question and then sample answers, sample options. It'll take a lot of time. Let's say it'll take a minute or two, and in that time you can easily finish reading all the 5 questions of tile 1. Read all the 5 questions, read all the options of those questions, and then when they give pause for the first question, do not read some other question in that time. Go back to the first question and read that, and listen to the statement very, very carefully. Understand it. If you understand it, you'll be able to answer, right? Your primary objective is to get true or false right. If you understand what they're talking, you can at least say that if the statement is true or false. And if you understand a bit more, you can go for you can also get the option the second question right. Do the same for all. Listen to it properly and then try to understand. Your aim is to get at least 4 true or false right and 2 to 3 questions right. If I'm assuming that you can at least understand 2 or 3 of those audio clips. If you cannot, then just ride your luck and see what happens. Now coming to tile 2. Tile 2 is a part where you'll have 6 questions and you'll have enough time to read those questions, right? It's the shorter part. Let's say it's the shorter version of tile 4. This segment is actually pretty easy, but if you have trouble in this segment, I'll give you a tip, right? Try to concentrate on question number 1 and 2 when you read. You have enough time to read all the 6 questions, but concentrate on question number 1 and 2. Pay more attention to it, right? So that you have read the question multiple times, and when the audio comes first, you'll be able to answer it properly. And then 3 and 4, ignore it. Just if you can answer in the first attempt, fine, or else just go for 5th directly, right? Read 5th and 6th. Read it carefully and wait for your audio to reach that question. When you reach that question, you have to try to get at least one of the 5th or 6th right? And then when the question is played again, try to concentrate more on question number 3 and 4 now. Read question number 3 and 4 properly. At the back of your head, try to listen to the audio when question number 1 and 2 is playing, but reading wise, you have to be reading 3rd and 4th question. You have to get those 2 right in this attempt, right? If you have missed 5th or 6th, when the audio comes to 5th or 6th, you have to answer it at that time, right? That's all about it. Now tile 3, this is your lifeline. You have to get at least 5 right. I would say you have to get 6 on 6 right no matter what, but 1 is your buffer. All the questions are in order, and they will use at least 1 or 2 words that are present in the statement, right? If you miss something, don't panic. Let's say you're marked second question and some talk happened in between, and now person C starts talking the 4th question. Don't panic. Mark C for the 4th question, and whoever spoke before C should have said the 3rd statement. So mark accordingly. I haven't solved this paper, so I don't know who has talked what, but this is just an example, right? Tile 4 is similar to tile 2, but with 2 more questions, 8 questions, and you'll generally not have enough time to read all the questions. If possible, read all the questions, or else try to concentrate on the first 2-3 initially, and then when the audio is playing for the first time, go at the end and read it. When it's playing for the second time, go for the middle questions, right? That is the strategies that you can use. right? And then go with your gut feeling. If you feel something is the answer, just mark it. Don't think too much, don't think too hard. Most only 2 or 3 will be tricky questions. If you think that every question is tricky, then you'll likely mess up everything. You have to remember that you only have to get 18 right. You don't have to get all 30 right. Just get 18 right. So even if you don't answer the tricky ones properly, it's still fine. If you're not at all prepared, you can use this strategy and ride your luck. If you are decently prepared, then it should not be a problem for you to clear the exams, clear this module at least. So all your YouTube, Insta, or whatever content you consume, everything has to be in German. Follow only German pages, form a new account or whatever, just follow those things. These are the pages that I used to follow and helped me a lot in my hearing, and you can also follow those pages. And for the next few days or until your exams are over, no English content or any other content of any other language, only German content till you give your exams, and after that you can watch anything. These are the books that I used to prepare for hearing and other modules. You can also use them, and then all the best.